Okay, hey YouTube, Todd here again, some guitar guy. First off, and as always, thanks for watching. So yeah, another ride video. Here we are again to compare my new to me GoPro 8 Black to my tried and trusty 3 Plus Silver. And we're on my favorite bike of all time. This is my 02 Sporty 883R. What I think every Sporty really should be. But more about the bike in just a second. And we are using, this is footage from the 8. We're using a chin mount from Chin Mounts, and I borrowed some of their images for their website. This is for my built Vertex helmet. Great product, highly recommend. If you're looking for a chin mount, definitely consider them. I'm not being compensated. These are custom made for hundreds and hundreds of helmets, including mine. Now, the only difference in setup from that last picture in what I'm using, I don't have that little inch long extension, so I have to invert the camera to get a decent angle. Otherwise the camera will be pointed down. Yeah, and I'm a believer in chin mounts after using this one. It's chin mounts in general and their product. It's a lot less intrusive than I thought it would be. You get to your destination, just pop the camera off the mount, drop it in a pocket, and you don't have the additional bulk of the chest mount, what to do with it. But yeah, so here's some pretty wide open footage at speed of the 8. Stabilization, GoPro calls it hyper smooth, is on but not in boost. This is in 1440 at 24 frames. I believe I will change that and try 30 just to give hyper smooth some additional frames to smooth things. But the smoothness looks really good. The image looks really good. The biggest thing I noticed the 8 over the 3 is the subtleties. It really picks up a lot of color subtleties. I think the 3 just was not sensitive, I guess, enough for. And then the smoothing, reducing or basically eliminating the camera shake as well. There's still some there. Yeah. And the 8 is not perfect. It is a battery killing little black box. It really is, and I've already experienced that. And you don't have near the battery life as the older cameras. So there is that to contend with. It also, to connect any kind of external microphone, basically requires the media mod, which is another $80 or so. But having said all that, I wanted the 3 to come out the winner, or at least go the full 12 rounds or whatever. And I guess in ways it does. But for my purposes, and kind of circling back to this bike, if you don't know these bikes, being an 02, this was the next to the last year of the solid mount engines. So you're talking the Evo engine, which is inherently imbalanced. You do get the Harley vibration, and then being the R model, it is very tightly sprung front and rear. So you get the engine vibration plus the imperfections, which are many in my state, transmitted up to the rider. The chin mount did help some isolate the camera a little bit. I guess my brain absorbed a lot of those vibrations and road shocks. But yeah, I am more than satisfied with the 8, and I picked it up for it. The 8 currently is considered the best bang for the buck GoPro, like the 3 Plus was 3 years ago. But you can find these 3 Pluses for $35, and I found this 8 for $125. But yeah, I'm getting ready to switch over to the 3, and we'll kind of see the difference. The 3, and it's not this, oh my God, I can't believe you're using a 3. I mean, there's a lot of detail there and a lot of subtlety, and I think the 3, this is the 3, by the way, with no, I don't know. I think it still does a great job. It has a lot of detail, a lot of subtleties, just not quite as much as the 8. Now here, and there's no stabilization. That's really probably the big thing in my mind that tips the scale for the 8. Now I'm making this a little bit worse because I forgot to zip up my right pocket on my jacket. So we're squared away now. Both hands are on the bars, and we'll get up to speed here behind this jackass that didn't even look, and get to real world pavement, not this that's a new traffic circle. And yeah, I mean that really is just disheartening, the video. It's, I mean, I can't argue the accuracy, but that's part of, and I don't know that I'm not really just conscious of all this vibration and shaking, and am conscious of the rough road, but it's part of the riding experience, right? And it's part of what makes this bike and these bikes appeal to me. Now I'm going to have a little fun here and do a little roll on, and it does get worse as the speed picks up, of course. But then, one answer maybe, and this is, I explored that, not only using a different mount to try to isolate the camera, but using third-party stabilization or stabilization in post. I use Movavi video editor, which does have a stabilization tool. And just to show you, I mean, I just really was not happy with the results. So this is Movavi stabilization with default settings. And as far as stabilizing, it actually, you see it's zoomed in just a little bit and cropped the edges. But it does a good job if you don't notice what I immediately noticed, and that is this hovering sky effect. And once I see it, I can't unsee it, and that's that's what my eye locks to, is the imperfection, and most people do. Otherwise, it does pretty good. So, but that just looks really unnatural. Yeah, and I can't, it's smooth, or a lot smoother, but I can't really enjoy the video, and I don't think many other people would. I think people would notice that and look for a better riding video. So I do go back and cut the settings basically in half here, and I really can't tell much of a difference. And I guess that's the way the algorithm works for these stabilizers, probably similar with the GoPro. The GoPro is just a lot better at it. And we still have this hovering sky. It is smooth, but this hovering sky. So yeah, I mean, both cameras have pluses and minuses. The simplicity, the good battery life for the 3. In this one I'm shooting, I think, in 980, again in 4:3, and I shoot in 4:3. That is one of the few pro tips that I do utilize. It's converted to 16:9 as we're watching, but that gives you wiggle room to fine-tune your camera angle. That's a really rough bump. But yeah, that was one of the few 4x3 options. I think it was the highest res option for the 3 in 4x3. But yeah, end of the day, the 8 really does take the cake for me. Now, having said all that, if I were not shooting on this bike, I probably would still go with the chin mount. It gives a better angle. But I think the 3 would be fine. So anyway, let me know please do the YouTube thing. Like, share, comment, and until next time, 2 wheels down. Thanks, guys.